and it's a good day in the world of the Crotchety Old Men podcast. Hello, I'm Gary Smith, your host today, along with my partner George Crumley in the studio. What's going on, George?
What up, Doe Smitty? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. Life is so good over here, man. If I got any better, it'd be two of me. Two of me.
Well, I'm normally excited anytime we get in to do our podcast, but today we got three Detroiters on, so it makes me even more excited. So we're going to share some information. We're going to educate our audience. We're going to expose them as much as possible, and then they look out, they're going to get some opportunities also. So Gary, let's go ahead and introduce our guest for today. I'll let you do that, and let's get this thing going.
Man, I am super excited to bring this. Oh my goodness, this young lady on to the show, man, because we're well represented in Detroit today. Such a phenomenal woman. Let me just give you some of the tidbits about her past and her background and her expertise. First of all, she's been in the business for over 28 years. Yeah, she started when she was a baby. Y'all should see her, but can't tell it on her face, right? So, but I'm talking about experience, y'all. 28 years in the industry, professional personified. Her experience not only serves as a broker, but record-breaking, record-shattering real estate broker in the metropolitan Detroit area. She specializes in all facets of real estate, primarily your luxury homes. I mean, she's had some achievements outside of just being the top producer. She owns her own brokerage firm. She's managed, she's taught real estate. She has license and certification so long that, heck, it would take the rest of the podcast for me to go down that list. And I could go on, and I don't want to steal her thunder because she's going to come on and just lay it out like we like to say, like a TI is. Help me to welcome Miss Monique S. Carter, President and CEO of Carter Associates Realty. Monique.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, first of all, Gary, I just want to give it back to you. I want to first thank you, and I want to thank George for allowing me to be a part of your amazing podcast that is worldwide. And I think it's an amazing thing. And I think we're in a season and in an hour where this kind of information, this type of platform, I think is absolutely critical. But I just want to give it back to you, Gary. I've known you for several decades, of course. I can't even begin to tell you the glory of God that's on your life and how you've changed lives worldwide more than you even imagine. And you've made such an impact in my life, not only spiritually, but in business. I'm super grateful to your style and to your integrity, but to your no nonsense approach. And I think we're in an hour and in a season right now more than ever where people are looking for real conversation, real authenticness in regards to information, lifestyle, and what people need to really do to win. And you have made a mark in the marketplace, not just here in Michigan, but worldwide. So I just want to give it back to you. I want to thank you so much for your life, for your integrity, for your influence, and for being a disruptor in the marketplace. So thank you so very, very much. And George, because of Gary, I'm loving on you because of this brother right here, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way you could sit on the front row if you didn't have it going on with Gary, because I already know him, right? So again, I want to thank you guys so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Monique. I am humbled. So very few times I'm speechless, but right now I'm speechless. So George, back to you.
Wow, that was a lot. And, as we go forward, it's important that, that kind of information is shared. I mean, I think that's important. That's one of the things that we don't often do is, give accolades to our, the people that help us along the way. And I'm sure Gary appreciates you giving that back to him.
Oh, yeah.
But, let's just jump right into it just for our audience. So, Monique, you're in real estate, you're in Detroit. Tell us, what's the market like right now in the Detroit area?
Well, it's definitely a changing marketplace. I've been in the business for 28 years, and I've seen the ups and downs, the roller coaster of the marketplace. And right now, we're talking about a market that, first of all, saw and experienced foreclosure back in 2000, I think 6, people say 8, but, I've been in the market for a long time. And I've seen a lot of the ups and downs in the market, and having to transition through that market and watch families and agents suffer because of this market, and what happened during the housing crisis. Then people finally trying to get on the road to recovery. And then now, we start seeing people starting to recover. And then here we come with the COVID, where people are still trying to recover from what happened with the housing crisis. I mean, we're talking about 32 million homeowners that lost their homes. Okay. And then we get into now people trying to still recover, live the American dream of home ownership. COVID comes, and guess now what's happening now? We're dealing with families that are now beginning to suffer. While they're suffering, you have another market where people are buying homes, and we're dealing with a market that's been a demand versus supply, low in inventory, unprecedented low inventory. And sellers have been making it out like a bandit because they've been able to sell their homes for 15, 20, 30% above market value because they've been the only king on the mountaintop. And buyers who have needed to buy, think about this. They came out of the market of, foreclosing, okay, having done short sales. Now these people that were in rentals have recovered. So now we're talking about a market now where you're dealing with an abundance of buyers and not enough homes. We went from 2.75% interest rates to now we're about 7%. So now where people could buy a $300,000 home at 2.5% interest rate, which is a very different monthly mortgage. Now it's very difficult for them now to buy a home that they can consider to be affordable. Does that make sense? So this is what's happening. You said that there's all of these agents in the market. There's over 60,000 agents that have left this market because they can't compete and because they can't make money. Are you with me right now? It takes real skill set. So yeah, I want to go ahead and get some feedback from you guys.
No, that's just incredible data, Monique, that you're sharing with us. And I'm just praying and hoping that our listeners are really locking in on what you're saying here. What you've described is a phenomenal market. And I say phenomenal because I'm looking at it from both ends. It's phenomenal for the people on the other end, the lower end of it, who are having those challenges finding affordable housing. And then it's phenomenal on the other end because people are making so much money.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, continue.
Absolutely. I have been in the market, and when I tell you I'm on the running, I've never seen anything like this before, where you're watching people that are waiving appraisals because there's 10, 15, 20 offers going in on one house. So imagine the way that the seller is playing the game now. So for the sellers that are listening, this is a market right now where you've been able, if they're, and I'm talking landscape together, I'm talking home is manicured, 10, 15, 20 offers are showing up, and they're getting what they want because it's a newfangled way of doing real estate.
I just want to kind of put some meat on that bone. So just to kind of give my audience an idea as far as stats. Okay, so here in Georgia, on a monthly basis, you usually have about 14,000 active listings in a month. Right now, we've got about 4,500. So that kind of speaks to what you're saying as far as lack of inventory. And I think we're seeing a lot of the lack of inventory because, like I said, I think it's 60%, it may be 80% of homeowners right now, interest rate is below 4%. So there's your incentive. I mean, or your lack of incentive to put your house on the market, even if you
Right.
want to downsize, because of the fact that there's no way I'm going to turn in my mortgage at 4% or less and for a 7.5. So that's one of our biggest challenges. So can you kind of expand a little bit and tell us what you're doing in the market as far as how are you addressing some of these challenges and how are you getting to the closing table?
Yeah, with that I'm working with that are wanting to buy still the home of their dreams. I mean, people still want to live life. People still want to win in life, right? And so the one thing that we do understand in life, we communicate or we connect success with our home. Okay? We say that if we're going to work hard each and every day, we deserve to have a home that represents who we really are. And we just do that. And so there are clients now they have recovered many instances in regards to their credit. They're tired because they've been in the rental situation for 6, 7 years, if you will, and they're tired of that. They want what they want now. And so you've seen a decline in new construction. But back in the heyday, new construction was everywhere. COVID came, lumber prices went up, and laborers went down. Nobody want to work. So a lot of that inventory that we would have drawn from the new construction, that's not happening. So what are buyers doing now? Buyers are saying, I still want school systems for my children. I still want location. And what they're doing is they will pay premium because they feel like it's there forever. Does that make sense to you? They feel like I've got money, and since I can't do the new construction because you're not seeing much of that out here, I'll find a home, and what I'll do is I'll renovate it, and I'll make it my dream home. And people are doing that, and I don't care what anyone says. Listen, I'm working with right now my sister-in-law and brother. I hope they don't see it because, I'm getting ready to go all the way up in their Kool-Aid. You got a question before I zoom on in because I'm getting ready
No,
to say
you go
something.
right ahead. You go right ahead.
So you might have to edit some stuff, but Gary told me that this was not a filtered program.
That's the Monique I love. Go for it.
And so here they are, both very successful engineer, big time brewery guy, Michigan State grads, very successful. And I helped them with a short sale. This was eons ago, though, folks. They got comfortable in renting because the home was glamorous. But they got comfortable with it. And I said to them, wait just a minute. This season is up and you don't want to play with this. So we got them approved at 2.75% interest rate. They didn't move forward. Now they're looking to buy. But where they want to go now is they want to go where it represents the income that they're making. You've got people right now that are still buying these medium to high-end properties, still want to live. They're still doing well. Everybody is not suffering out here. There are people during the COVID that went into their laboratories and they started reinventing and expanding and creating and saying, I'm ready to win. And they're in a position right now. And so they were at one point looking at only a $350,000, $400,000 home. Now they're looking at a $600,000 home. Now they know interest rates are higher, but this is what I've shared with them. Whatever goes up comes down. When I came into real estate 28 years ago, interest rates were 12%. Then they dropped all the way down to 2.75%. So if we're waiting on values to drop on homes, you're going to be there until Jesus comes. Uh-oh. I probably won't be invited back.
Oh my goodness! Keep talking. I don't even have. I forgot my
No,
question.
no,
No, go
you're right on. I mean, you've
You
got
know what I'm
to,
saying?
I don't know because I'm old school and I'm old at that. But I always tell people that my first home, the interest rate was double digits, and it was a house in Detroit. I paid $29,900 for it, but that interest rate was probably around 13%.
There you
So
go.
I guess from an old head, 7.9 doesn't really scare me because of the fact that if you can buy a house, one of the things that we always say, it's never a bad to buy a house if you can afford it. So you've got to look at the affordability for yourself, and you've got to be serious about it. You got to look for the opportunities. So when I say look at the opportunities, tell me about I know you kind of dibble and dabble in some of the HUD properties in Detroit. So is that an opportunity to look at? Are you seeing a lot of opportunities there?
Yeah, I've had a contract with the government for about 8 years. And what's happening is that, of course, a lot of the FHA properties, they're backed by HUD. And so they haven't been dropping as much of them, But that is an opportunity. I had a property that was actually in West Bloomfield. Now, people think, and this is it, George and Gary, a lot of folks think HUD properties are just in an oppressed area, a depressed area, in the lowest income area where people don't want to drive their cars. It's not true. It's not true. HUD's mission is for affordable home ownership. Their mission is about the American dream. And their interest is not in the investor. Their interest is in a homeowner that sees the vision and at a discounted price can go in and make it their own. So let me give you an example. I had a property that was in West Bloomfield, right over there by 15-mile Orchard Lake, not far from the Lone Pine, kind of that area. Now, this home was 3,400 square foot, sat on almost an acre of land. It had a 5-bedroom. It had a sprawling, I mean, it was what do I want to say? Very large staircase, open kitchen area, great room, family room. This home was beautiful. The area consisted of educators, doctors, engineers. This is what you would call a luxurious community. This was HUD. The values over there were around between $850, $9 and a quarter. And they were selling this property for $595. What do you think?
Sound like a steal. Sound like a deal to me.
Now, let me tell you what happened with this. I said, I'm going to do an open house on Monday. Now, this was during the winter. I'm going to do an open house. I did it on a Monday from 12 to 1. And I was like, no one's going to show. But part of my responsibility with HUD is I've got to teach and train classes to brokers and agents statewide. One of my requirements. I have to do it 3 times a year. And whenever I have any property, I have to put it on the MLS, and I have to also do an open house. And so I did one Monday from 1 to 2. And it was a blizzard. And it was 10 minutes. I think I did it from 12 to 1. It was 10 minutes to 12. And I had 35 cars lined up around the block. I panicked. Now, I normally don't panic, but I panicked. And I couldn't believe it. There was no heat. There was no electricity. They came from everywhere. Now, did the roof cave in? No. It was straight up cosmetics. It was updating. It was painting. It was some flooring. It was updating baths and kitchens. With a property like that, you have people that have money that says location, 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 square footage, and it was a Taj Mahal. This home was fabulous. An agent shows up who was part-time and was not experienced and had a buyer that was not experienced. But she loved the home. But because of her inexperience, she didn't have the ability to show her the numbers, to show her the vision, to bring in a contractor to give numbers, to do the things that needed to happen to make it a win for her. She panicked, and that agent cost that buyer a property because of their lack of experience in being able to coach a client, something that Gary Smith is brilliant with, by the way. Brilliant in commercial. Brilliant. Because you have to know how to talk to the client and help them not to panic, but to be informed and make the best financial decision. This was a home full of equity. Was panicked over walking from underneath the wall due to low grading and a downspout. Are you okay? You got questions. I got answers. I'm trying to say something to you.
Oh my goodness. There's a cost of education, but ignorance is more expensive. Ignorance.
Wow.
Oh, goodness.
Wow. Wow. I got to post that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
George?
I gotta let you finish the story. So how much did the house go for eventually?
Yeah. Actually, they wound up buying the property for, I think it was for 625.
Hmm.
Yeah. 625. An amazing deal. An amazing deal.
Oh, my.
And yeah, and it was actually a young professional. He saw the vision. It was real easy for him. He brought in some contractors, and that's what we have to do in this market when you're working with clients. Instead of them getting caught up, listen, I have clients that'll come to me and they'll say, "I don't want to spend more than 400,000." They give me the number. They can qualify for 800, but I don't want to spend any more than 400. And I'm like, "Okay, so help me understand the monthly payment that you're comfortable with." And then by the time we find out what the monthly payment is that they're comfortable with, it really can put them in a $500,000 house. You're squawking over $10 more a month. And that's the lack of information and education, because why would you miss the window of opportunity in your dream home over $10 more a month? And we're missing out on life doing that. And we're spending it somewhere else wastefully anyway.
Teach, sister, teach.
You understand what I'm saying to you? So I'm big about the American dream. I'm big about living your best life, not living beyond your means. I'm not talking about that. Because when we're sitting down with the client, we're gathering enough information to find out exactly what they qualify for, credit, how much money they have. You're spending more over here in a rental, and then you're giving me a problem over $100 more a month that's taking you from a rental to an entire a whole nother trajectory of your life, where you can dream dreams and have visions. And so I'm telling people, don't play your life cheap. Everything in your life will shift. It's all about what you're looking at through the windows. And so this is what I share with people, and they get it. Now, they're mad at first, but you understand what I'm trying to say. After they've had a minute to think about it, their hearts are open.
Good, real good information. Let's talk about how what new buyers or what buyers should be doing right now to prepare themselves to get into the housing market.
I share with clients, I like to spend time with clients. Now, I like to spend time with people that are serious, because of my style. I want to deal with people that are very serious and very intentional and very purposeful, because if you're not, you'll be offended by me. Okay. And so for me, it's important to me that when we have this conversation, we're having real talk, because we're talking about money. We're talking about your life. So I like to deal with, my avatar client, if you will, is going to be more of the athlete, the CEO, the international investor, the corporate executive, or first time buyers that are like really, really ready to win. Okay. I want to work with those people because we want to have conversations where they're not offended and it's not emotional. And I know buying, residential versus commercial, it's a different personality. It really, really is. That's why Gary does commercial and I do residential. You know what I mean? But I could roll with him in commercial though. Hello, somebody. He taught me well. But what I would say to you is that I sit down with them and I find out what their goals are. I find out about their experiences in real estate, what their experience has been in real estate. And then I find out, their short-term goal and their long-term goal. Once I do that, the first thing I do is, we talk about their credit. Where is it? Because the way that I work is that I'm a driver. Okay. I'm about possessing the land. I'm about dominating. So I operate in a dominion like style because when my clients see that home, all of a sudden the laid backness, it shifts. Now they're like, you need to get that for me. I mean, I watch people shift right in before my eyes. The minute they see the home of their dreams, the land flowing with milk and honey, I watch them shift. And what they're looking for is for me to get it by any means necessary. So I have to, in that first meeting is critical to me because that sets the stage for when it's time to go out there and find their home. So it's important to me. I don't have anything that's left outstanding, anything that is a surprise, anything that could come up, because once I find it, I know that there's 10 other buyers that want it too. See, I'm into competing and I'm going to compete and I compete hard. And so it's very, very important to me that I find out their credit, I find out their finances, that there's nothing hidden, there's no hidden latent issues. And then I put them strategically, and I'll say to them, unless you have a lender, I want to talk with that lender. The reason why is this: one person can ruin an entire deal. One person. And if you have a wrong connection, a connection that's not as progressive and that is not as knowledgeable and that lacks swagger and charisma and personality, because we have to talk to another agent. In our business, it's not just only I'm a top producer. It's all about making you feel like I'm the right person with the right client for your home, because deals fall through the cracks. I have a lot of agents I know, and they're fancy, they bling, bad personalities, don't call you back, won't answer the phone. You're representing clients. When my phone rings, I need to answer it. I need to be accessible, period. Because I have clients that are counting on me to get that home. But when that agent calls and you don't answer the phone, what do you think they think? Why should I do business with her? She won't be available once the deal is done. And that's how we feel. So we watch behavior, we watch style, professionalism, how effective you are. If I got to call you more than once on something, that's a problem. And we're entangling ourselves with people that are not helping us to win. I tell people all the time, I'm not going to connect with people. If I got to go in for heart surgery, you better have done tens of thousands of them. I come to you. Going with people that have been in it, that part-time is a hobby. They have no 3D ability, no knowledge, no out-of-the-box thinking, no how to move and maneuver. Listen, if it's low inventory, you got one shot. So, I mean, come on now. The Golden State Warriors are not going into the championship game with third stringers. Come on. Uh-oh, she didn't go there with the game.
What
You know,
you
I
know
do sports.
basketball, boy. You got struck a nerve now. Go ahead.
You guys, are you following me? Do you understand what I'm saying
Oh,
to you?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, in fact,
Yeah.
that's where I was going next, is to try to give some nuggets to some agents out there, but you just jumped right in it. So I think that's so important, representation and how you present yourself. So yeah, I mean, you want to go ahead and go some more. Yeah.
Yeah,
Talk
it
about
is
what these agents need to be doing out there.
Absolutely. Yes,
absolutely.
tell them.
Yeah, I really, really think that, we've got to turn up our professionalism, and we have to, stay a student. I tell people all the time, stay in class, stay a student, get your credentials, because the market is changing so quickly that if you're not relevant in this marketplace, you're going to be left behind. The reason why I've been able to continue to evolve in my business is because I stay relevant. I stay on the ground running. I'm watching what's happening in the market and I'm gathering those nuggets. So guess what? When my clients come to me, we're literally in a huddle. I'm able to share with them, here's some secrets. Here's what you need to do. This is how we got to think. This is how we have to move. I had to take a gentleman, and it was out in Lapeer. It was an hour and a half drive. He was a banker, a private banker with Chase, said, I won't work with anyone but you. He was an African American. He was a Caucasian guy, a young, a millennial, buying almost $500,000 home. And it was in Almont. That is an hour and a half drive. I said to him, I think you better find another agent. This is just a little too much of a distance. It was one house. But I told him what to do. I told him exactly what to do. And it was strange to him. I said, I need you to drive that block about 10 times. I want you to go to the store, buy you a pop and drink it in front of the house. I want you to go to a restaurant, grab a burger. I want you to eat it in front of the house. Then I want you to walk up and down the street. I want to make sure before I drive out there that you love the community. I don't want to look at a listing ticket, find out next door is a barn. Now I didn't drove all the way out there and you're like, I don't like the odor. There's a barn next door. He did exactly what I said to do. And he said, I want you. You know why he wants me? Because I gave him insight and wisdom about that property. I said, if this is it, I said, we're going to do this in rare form and we're going to take it. And let me tell you what happened. We took it. They wanted $325 for that property. He got it for $310. But we played the game because I knew it wouldn't appraise. We got all the appliances on there. We had them to take care of all the repairs. And that is a sewer scope inspection. I don't believe in doing inspections without a sewer scope because too many basements are flooding. Now, this was a $500,000 home. They did a sewer scope inspection for us. They took care of repair on a deck for us. They cut down a tree for us. They did everything and a 1-year home warranty and all the appliances, and he got the deal. What do you think he think about me?
He loves you.
And it was
Yeah, he's gonna be opening his address book to you, referring all his friends to you.
absolutely. It is really about how to play the game, to understand the market. See, there are buyers buying homes. I've had them contact me, George, and they've said, why is my mortgage $200 more a month? And I said, well, wait a minute. They're not my client. They went to someone else. But they called me wanting to ask me why their note was $200 more a month. Because the sellers owned the home for 30 years. And when you bought it, the taxes were uncapped. But your agent didn't tell you. Because if they told you, you wouldn't have bought the home knowing that the taxes were going to double. This is why you need integrity. And this is why you need someone that's knowledgeable, that's going to look at public records. I had a client that came to me, and it was another situation. No problem. You know what I did? I went to the tax tribunal. Part-time agents don't know about that. And I got the tax tribunal, who's an advocate for the people, to get those taxes knocked all down. See, when you have knowledge, knowledge is power. We do perish for the lack of it.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
Glory to God. Yes.
I had clients that met me. I was speaking over there at Straight Gate Church. And there was a family that heard me when I was speaking. They contacted me. They said, I don't want to lose my home. We love our home, Monique. And we don't want to lose it. They were losing it to taxes. Everybody was running downtown Detroit, where there were lines of people trying to get these deals. And you know what I said? Go to Oakland County. There will not be a line. There'll be someone at the front counter, and they will help you. And they walked into Oakland County. Their home was actually in Oakland County, but they were hearing about all these other things going on. And they met with someone and they sat down with them, did a hardship. And there was a program called Michigan Step Forward Michigan. No one knew about it. We had something like, I don't know, something $4.8 million or something crazy. We had a lot of money. Nobody knew about it, but I did. And because of that, those taxes were all paid up and their home was saved.
Wow. That's a great story. Well, hey, for
Yeah.
our audience, again, you've been listening to Monique Carter of Carter and Associates Realty out of Southfield, Michigan, and she's sharing some beautiful nuggets. I mean, some information. And as you know, Smitty, every time I get on one of these calls, I learn something. I learned something today too. So it's all good. So hopefully our audience is in that same boat, learning something. So because that's what it's all about, is sharing information, educating our audience, exposing them, giving an opportunity. I think we've hit all those points today. Monique, thanks again for joining us here on the Crotchety Old Men podcast.
Thank you.
And I would be remiss if I didn't allow you to share any of your information to our audience that would like to get in touch with you if they're in the Detroit metro area or Southfield or one of the suburbs, because I'm sure they you would be able to help them also. So you want to share that information with them?
Yeah, thanks again for allowing me to be a part of the podcast. First of all, I really appreciate it and hope that I gave some information that was helpful to somebody out there. But again, I'm Monique Carter. I'm a real estate broker. My company is Carter and Associates Real Estate Company, and I'm located in Southfield, Michigan. My number that you can reach me is 248-357-1755. Again, 248-357-1755. And you can go to my website, which is www.carterassociatesrealty.com. You can find me on LinkedIn and Facebook. And I'm also have an associate brokers with EXP as well. And I have about 150 agents. I do teach, coach, and mentor agents, and helping them to be the best that they can possibly be at their trade. So I love it. 248-357-1755. If you have any questions and anything that I can help you out with the home of your dreams, I'm the person for you.
Make no mistake about it, y'all. I hope you got that right. Replay this podcast. There's so many nuggets that this sister laid on us, and truly passionate about her craft in real estate. A lot of people say, well, I've been in real estate for so many years, but you can tell by Monique's testimony and her experiences that real estate has been in her for 28 years. And she shows it, she knows it, and she certainly has the foundation, principles, people, then profits. George, before we wrap up, any words?
Oh, yeah. Again, thank you, Monique. Much success going forward. Be safe out there. Smitty, as always, as for our parting words, what you got for us today?
Well, I think this is so apropos for a lioness that we have in the studio today. This woman truly, don't mess with Monique Carter unless you got some money, serious, and don't be coming up there talking about, well, I don't know, because she's going to show you the dough. All right? No, I'm just joking, but yeah, she is serious about that money. But anyway, I think this one would be pretty apropos for us today, is that the only thing greater than the power of mind is the courage in your heart. And I think Monique has lived that for all the years that I've known her, because true professionalism, realness, and more importantly, that passion to win and the love of people. So until the next time, as we always say on the Crotchety Old Men podcast, if you didn't know,
Now you know.
until next time.
All right, take care. Thanks.
Hi, this is Gary Smith of the Crotchety Old Men podcast. Are you looking for ways to create generational wealth on a passive income basis? Then reach out and grab a copy of my new book, 5 Keys to Creating Passive Income with Commercial Real Estate. It's available now at Amazon.com. Again, that's the 5 Keys to Creating Passive Income with Commercial Real Estate.